everybody! Happy 2025 for everybody. Welcome to another live stream. We are back again, the first one of this year. I hope everybody had a very nice glide into 2025. And yeah, how time flies, isn't it? Already a year gone. Yeah, you see my little webcam problem still remains, and I did some Googling, used Google for finding what the cause could be because of the OBS streaming software. But it seems if you use twice a Logitech webcam that this problem appears. So the webcam which is focused on me, which waving to you now, that one has the right resolution, but the other webcam, the 930, for some reason doesn't go higher than something like 630. Very odd, but seems to be a known problem. Could be caused by Logitech because maybe they are not expecting somebody using two webcams on a computer. But yeah, it's the keyboard is not that important today, so I still showed a little bit. I put away the webcam a bit more further on, but yeah, it's I need to see how. I think maybe I should connect the camera, which I also have, if the keyboard is important. So in the upper right corner, you see it's addressed to the studio, and I even could change it. So okay, everybody, welcome. I hope you had a good holiday season time and also a nice slip into this new year. And of course, this new year we'll do also live streams. If you have a suggestion, there's one suggestion. I could already make some suggestions today using Prisma. So later on in this live stream, I will do some little things about Prisma. And but ahead of that, I thought, yeah, why not do another Predator-3 video? Because yeah, it's a very popular product and there's much to tell about it. I have this typical sound now. So let's see in the chat room. You mentioned that video is great. I don't see the video here. Let me see. It's always fun with these computers, isn't it? Here I see. I can see the chat, but I don't see my own streams. So guys, you have the screen of the products. Oh, strange. How could this be? Ah, now I see it. I went to, I made my screen a little bit too narrow. So now I can see what I'm streaming. Cool. Yeah, it's nice to be back. And we're working still very hard, of course, on our new products for the release. As you know, we will release Raw 2 in a couple of weeks, hopefully at the end of January, but that's not sure because there are always many things we still need to do before we can release. But let's move on with Predator-3. The sound, and you see here it has this, essentially only one oscillator is used in this preset, and this is from the Let's Go 60 in the 3003 Synth 02 bank. And you can see even with just one oscillator, because the original 60 only had one oscillator, you can make a cool sound. And it, just like the 60, it uses a pulse width modulation. The symmetry of this waveform here, you can see it's a square waveform. It's modulated by an LFO. And the cool thing inside the Predator-3, it has its own symmetry modulation or pulse width modulation if it's addressed to a square waveform. And here you can see that the symmetry is moving around. And here we have the speed control. If we Go to the advanced panel, you can see it moving around. So that makes a kind of chorus. I like it. Makes the sound much fuller compared to, for instance, a static waveform, for instance, which would be a saw waveform. Of course, I need to shut it down here. So that one is more static, although it uses chorus. So bypass here. There's a little bypass here, by the way, for bypassing the FX. But this is only the saw waveform. So if we go to the square waveform again, here's a square waveform. And here we have the modulation. So this is essentially how a Uno 60 sounds without the chorus, and then you put on the chorus. Then you have the original Uno 60, because the Uno 60 did not have a delay built in. At that time, digital delays were not that common. The Uno 60 had a analog chorus, and at that time there were plenty of analog delays which had a lot of noise. And so also the chorus of the Uno 60, if you put it on, or on a Poly 6, you always hear some noise going on. But it had a very creamy sound. And of course, yeah, here inside Predator-3, we have even 3 FX. So we can have the original Uno sound. By the way, you can also just hear the sound. Add delay. Because if you have a beat, then it's much nicer. And here ratcheting on step 13. Make it more darker, that's nicer. Does blend in better. With the guitar, with power cut. You see, you not always have to do many things. So what I did now to make this sound, the original Let's Go Uno 60, if you would press here, up here, it goes to the original. And what I did change is the envelope amount, made that a little bit less, and the decay. And then you suddenly have a sound which maybe fits better in your piece of music. So it not always necessarily means that you have to change a lot of stuff. That's not needed. So let's do this again to reiterate the... So this is the original one. And the guitar kicks in. And then it's a little bit, takes room from the guitar, isn't it? So if I go down with the envelope, make the up. Now suddenly the guitar gets its room. Of course it depends on your song, how the song is, but yeah, you see, with little tweaks, you can change a lot in a sound. So the preset in Predator-3, there are many presets, are also a good starting point. Hello, everybody in the chat room. Yeah, sounds a little bit 80 pops indeed. It's a nice bass sound. And by the way, there's also a sub-oscillator used here, which is a square waveform. You see many tones inside of it. Resonance changes. And this filter type, and that's with a purpose, this filter type is a 24 dB low pass type 2. So we have different types. So we have 24 low-pass filters type 1, which is a Moog ladder filter type, which is different in sound. The type 2 is more, it's not really a Roland filter, but it's more in its character. It's more like a Roland type of filter. So it's a bit different. And as you can hear, plenty of upper harmonics inside our synthesizers. That makes a synthesizer which is coded very often much better than a sampled sound, because you have all the harmonics generated. Of course, some sounds you only can use with a sample thing if you want to have a piano or choir type of thing, or a banjo, then you need to sample. But for synth sounds, the analog modeled waveforms, because of their harmonics, are very important. Okay, so that's a lot of new things I had. We will, of course, work on the Explorer 10, which will have Fraud 2. It will have a new synthesizer, and it will have some sound sets that will be added to the Explorer 10. Okay, I'm in the chat room. Yeah, lucky enough, not too much technical issues. Yeah, the webcam, I found out what the problem is. This one where you see the very fuzzy piano, but that's the resolution. So it seems to be a problem. If you use two webcams from Logitech, then there is an issue. Okay, let's go back to the Predator-3. So Predator-3, what we did also, next to making more features compared to the Predator-2 and Predator-1, of course. By the way, you still can install them. If you have Predator-3, if you scroll down on the download page, you will also find Predator-2 and Predator-1. And if you installed Predator-3 first, and after that, you also can run the Predator-2 to install it for maybe older songs, or Predator-1 for older songs, but use the Predator-3 serial. So install Predator-3, activate it, then the next step would be closing your music program and run again the downloader, and then go down in the download page and run again the Predator-2 installer and Predator-1 installer. Then you will have all three of them inside your computers. In case of older songs, I mean, I also have songs with Predator-2 or maybe even Predator-1, and then it's fine that it does loads. And both of them are VST3. Even the original Predator is also VST3. So we added also this one here. It's the XY, which is cool. And here you see the XY has its own field. And you see here it has addressed the filter and the resonance to the presets. So also the original presets from Predator, which you can find in the bank manager. If you scroll down, for instance, if you go to Trance and Psytrance 02, the 105 bank is originally a Predator bank, preset bank, and there still the works. Cool, isn't it? Nice sound, isn't it? So this is originally a Predator-1 preset, and then the XY still will do its thing. That's what John added. Of course, we converted the Predator presets and added already some XY routing. Yeah, Gab Browns, I saw that also myself. I started Cubase 14, did a little test, but did not have that much time. So Gab Browns is mentioning Cubase 14, that you can enable VST2 in Cubase 14. Well, I guess they had a lot of complaints about it, because some of the very old plugins which people maybe use for years, not always are VST3. We use a code part for creating the VST3, which helped us a lot. It's called Juice. Otherwise, we would not have yet VST3 for all the products. But now, because of this, they call it a wrapper, we can use also the VST3 now and provide the VST3. So, that's about the XY and Predator-3. So Manager, if you scroll down, you see a lot of presets. I think we have over 4,000 presets, new ones. The only thing I did regret myself is that I did not stick myself to the system that we have a prefab lead and then trans plug, you know. And R, because then it's still, of course, we have the tagging, but still, if you have the name already mentioning what type of preset it is, it helps still a little bit better. Okay, that's a noise, guitar noise here. It's also... These are all original Predator preset. A lot of modulation, and of course the arpeggiator. Yeah, it's Gab Brown's. Good that you mentioned it. I saw this selection in the, if you have Cubase, you have this window, this studio. It's inside Studio. It's called VST Plugin Manager. And there you can activate VST2. But I think it's wise to stick VST3. Because in the end, that will be the final format. We stick also to VST2 because Prisma uses VST2. And we use also code of VST2 to create VST3. In terms of CPU, there's not much of a difference, but it seems that VST3 has some other advantages. And of course, it's a little bit of a hype, if you ask me. So the XY appears also functional in all the original Predator presets. And then you see color-wise, it changed a little bit, although you see the colors of the dials are sometimes different. So red buttons or dials, red with the red top on it, are modulators, so filter. Here you see this one, speed is an LFO, it's also modulator. And everything which is gray is an amount control. So this is an amount control. So the envelope is an amount control. And everything which has a darker color is essentially the function of the module. So filter 1 is originally the parameters, which are really the filter 1 parameters, are essentially cutoff and resonance. And of course, which type of filter you use. But the rest you see is mainly amount controls. So there's also a pre-filter distortion, which is part of the filter, but these are amount controls. How much of the filter envelope controls the filter 1 cutoff frequency? And down here we have the filter envelope, which is then red, which means that it's a modulator. So we also have a little bit of a explaining in Predator-3 what things are doing. So here you see the high pass filter, you can put it on. And then you have the filter, which is black. The resonance is black, which you need to put on, of course. And key tracking. So that's why everything is gray, or I have a darker gray button, not button, dial top. Yeah, in many programs you can, Stephen does mention, reason you can use VST2 and VST3. Yeah, it's the VST2 works in many hosts, so it's only Cubase which is dropping it fully, it seems, although you see now by adding adding the VST2 support, that they most likely had a little bit too much people complaining about it, because if you load an older song, it well could be that the song then doesn't load, and then you have all kind of problems. And yeah, the biggest thing, VST3 essentially was, I think, talk about 2007. They talked about this VST3, and everybody said, oh boy, this is a totally way different approach in creating the plugin. So it never took off until, until Steinbach started pushing it more and more. And suddenly it became a hot item, although VST3 is already basically around for 15 years, 16 years. But because of the complexity, because it's so complex to create VST3, it took that long. And yeah, as mentioned, we use the wrapper, which uses the code of VST2 to create VST3, and that saved us so much time, because if we would have to code everything again from the base to VST3, that will be a horrible job. And yeah, and also keep in mind, we have to create AAX versions and audio unit. Okay, so there's a little bit background about the fun the developers have if sometimes something new appears in the music industry. Okay, so Predator-3 compared to Predator-2 has, to my impression, a more relaxing layout. I have myself a little bit, some people might disagree. They say I like Predator-2 more, but I think the problem with Predator 2 was maybe the combination of red and a very dark surface. Let me put it in. Okay, here you see, so it looks very different, although it's also cool, but some people have some problems with red and using, so the red thing around it. So that's a little bit of a problem for some people in terms of visual. So it's maybe more overwhelming. That's the good word. It's more overwhelming, less having less overview compared to the Predator-3, which is more relaxing in my opinion. So what we did in Predator-3 was also the user waves, and of course I have a live stream about user waves where I start using it, and myself also forgot on some subjects how things work. It's very sophisticated. You can draw your partials, you can load in your waveforms. You have per oscillator or per preset, you can have 8 waveforms, and then you can morph between the waveforms. You can create your own waveforms. You can analyze. If you click here, you can load in a sample and then look for a waveform analyzing of a sample, which is pretty complex. Maybe someday I need to do a in-depth video about it in steps, which also timestamps. But yeah, we noticed that not that many people are using it. It's really for the ones which love to work with that. So we have this as an option that you can use up to 8 user waves. And then, of course, the cool thing about that, and that's the difference with the Predator-3, which made Predator-3 so cool, that it is a hybrid synth, because I play the Unisound, but it also can do these things, you know, okay, that's the wrong synth. Okay, or wavetable type of So this is a Vox waveform which morphs. You see it here. Let me play one oscillator, oscillator 1. It moves from Vox 2 to Spectrum 127. See here what happens. And this case, it's using the XY. If you click here the XY, you see that uses the XY, changes the oscillator 1 morphing, and also oscillator 2. The oscillator 2 has a copy of oscillator 1, but it's only used for making the sound a little more fuller. So this is really, Predator-3 is really, and also Predator-2, and an original Predator extension also, is a hybrid synthesizer. It combines the thing of wavetables, combines with analog modeled waveforms, and then you can do some cool stuff, making totally different sounds. One of the it's a lead sound, Feedback Me, for instance. I use that not for making a kind of feedback sound. So if you see here, it's only one oscillator. It goes from a square waveform like a feedback. Well, you see here, the XY, it morphs to the oscillator 1. It adds also a little bit main volume, oscillator 1 morph. And if I bypass that here in the XY, I can do it manually. So it morphs between the square and the user wave 1. And the user wave 1, I took a user wave, click here on the user wave, is I took 1 octave higher, so not the bass harmonic, but I took this second one, and plus adding this one. So that's the overtone. I even could go even higher. Pick this one, then you could it goes even, but then it's not that sound what I was seeking. But then you get this. Okay, let's go back, user waves. And that's too high. So the user wave, I took only the second harmonic, which is 1 octave higher compared to the original dominant or fundamental waveform. So it's a sinus waveform, 1 octave higher. Oh, you can see, yeah, you don't see it here, but let me see if you can, partials. Yeah. You don't see it in the waveforms. Yeah, if I would have the other first original one open, then you would see that the waveform would be twice as long. And you see it's a pure sinus waveform. So that's the guitar sound. Bit fuzzy. So that's the morphing, which is absolutely cool. You can use this sequencer for this. I'm not sure if there's any sequence which has the let me see. I need to look for. Oh, no, that's. So I'm looking for a sequence sound which uses. Of course, that's hard to find, Rob. Maybe in my sounds. That's not a one. That's TB303, isn't it? Can morph to the square. Okay, I don't find the sequence where it has different waveforms by using the arpeggiator. But this is also cool because here you can see that I use the morphing to go from saw to square. I also added different pre-filter distortions, but in the amp section we have many distortions, so I could choose here first. And the distortions in the amp section is per voice, so it's not only total sound. So let's see. Let's go down with overdrive. Sounds pretty dirty, isn't it? Fuzz is nice. You hear what a difference. Can I add this up? Has a phaser here, I believe. Or not. Sounds a little bit phasing. Oh, that's the second notch filter. Hear that one? So that's another interesting thing. We have here the routing, which also has the original Predator routings, but the second filter is behind filter 1, and that's having a notch filter, which does this phasing type of thing. So here, if you adjust the LFO amount, it jumps here to the filter LFO, and you see that one is tempo bass, 4 bars. It's in free mode, so it keeps on doing. So I also could use it on the filter, the first filter. Hear how much the... You see, just making... sound. Chorus behind the delay. Using the XY. Doesn't that sound sweet? So that's the TB Predator-2 Prophecy. I'm not sure. I think that one is also in the Trance of Psytrance somewhere. Oh, here we have the I think this one has a dynamic changing. Here it changes here. Let me see if I can trace something. Up free row controls the one morphing. So the free row of the arpeggiator down here, you see different steps, controls the morphing. So it goes from one spectrum to another spectrum. It's a more percussive sound there. Has a reverb. And by the way, what a cool thing is, I also can use the reverb, control the reverb with the free row. Let's do that. Go to the mod matrix and I select the free row again from the ARP free row, here it is, and control the mix of the FX2. Let's see what happens. Not much. Oh, it's F1 mix, sorry, FX2 mix. Rob, you had the wrong one. Oh, I essentially also could throw it in here, drag and drop, you see, that's also an option. But then I need to select the ARP free row, then it doesn't have the source. The source should be then. A sequence of free, where are you? Here. Here now? You see it also moving around a bit too much. Fun. So options endlessly, guys. The options are endless. So, okay, I see the chat room. Some more people. Everybody, welcome. Oh yeah, if you joined a little bit later on, you always can start from the start, the live stream, if you want to watch back some things. Today I talk a bit about Predator-3, the history behind it. You see the ARP section has up to 4 ARPs possible, A, B, C, and D. So in total you could have 64 steps. So that's a lot. It has ratcheting, all kind of interesting features inside of it. Of course, in the presets use it. I always say you don't have to go outside board with the effects, because the built-in effects are top-notch. Also the reverbs, delays, and of course, let me see if this one doesn't have reverb, but let me show you a sound which has a this one uses the reverb. This would be the dry sound. Very dry. It's like a trombone a bit. This is a dry trombone. and we put some juice on it. The first juice would be reverb, and then also delay. Then it sounds. Let me give a little bit more reverb. And one of the cool features in the delays, which we added in our instruments, which you also will find in Delsane, is we have an equal feedback, which means normally if you have two different delay times, one is always shorter than the volume of the other one goes away much faster. And John coded that many years ago. I requested him to the possibility to have them equal feedback, so that the sound is equal passing out even if the time is different. And we added that to Delsane, and once some of the magazines started to doing a review of Delsane, they talk, wow, this is such a great feature. And it seems that nobody did figure it out before. So credits to John to be able to code this. And it's, of course, inside our instruments. And if you are interested in cool delays, you really should check out Delsane. It's absolutely fantastic and very creative. But here you see I have the equal feedback is on. And I have left a timing. If you go to the upper, here's the readout. Left is 1/4 note, and the right side is 1/8 dotted. So I could also go for 1/4 dotted and see how that sounds with this sound. So editing the effects is also very important. If you have a preset, it's, as mentioned at the start of the live stream, it's also a starting point. So little changes can make a preset just more personal. Or pick a different waveforms. If I would go to a square, totally different sound, or change the symmetry of the square. Got more a reed sound. You see many options. So the effects built in are from high quality. Oh, here I might have the arpeggiator, which has minimal changes to the waveforms. Mirage ARP1. Just one oscillator. And this one uses, you see, a wave set. Wave set, so 1, 2, 4, only 4 different waveforms. Now I'm changing them. So you see, it's so versatile. By the way, this is, I think, one of the sounds we used on the album of a band called PERU, which was originally formed by Peter and Ruth. I made a video clip of it. Maybe I should play it at the end of the show, at the live stream, because I made at that time also a nice video clip. And it's a very relaxing song, which means that if I would play it at the end of the live stream, it would make you pretty relaxed. I'm pretty sure about that. Yeah, this is the ambient bang, of course, the mellow carpet, which is totally, and that's the cool thing about Predator-3. It has so many sounds and different approaches, possibilities. Cool, isn't it? Okay, what was the thing which I think was cool to mention? Let's go to Prisma. Oops. Add track, instrument. Prisma, where are you, baby? Because what you could do, if you have two sequences, and that you can control between them and mix them, that would be a nice thing with Prisma. So if you would take then, I'll do it very fast now. If you would, for instance, only you would have Predator-3, you would load Predator-3, you go to a cool sequence sound. You have plenty of sequence sounds. Sorry, I need to go to the manager. Let me see where we can. I even go to the older ones. So Psytrance. No. Need to pick one. Okay, that would be one. I pick here the volume, layer 1 volume, and go with the volume down. Then I can. Yes, I go to second layer. I also take then again Predator-3. Pick a different ops. So I'm doing it very fast now, so not pretty much detailed, but I take another sequence sound. Not sure. That's very classic. Okay. Take this one. Then what I will do is pick here layer 2, but do the volume control negatively. So if I go here, and you see the other blends in. Of course, I need to adjust right away the balance. That's a way why you can combine two sequences. And you see, you need to fiddle around with the volume, but you only use one fader. One layer 1 has a positive volume changes, and the other one a negative. And then you can combine between the two of them. Still can edit the sound. Change even the arpeggiator, because the sound combination is not so cool. I don't like the flanger in this one. So that's how you can combine it. Give it a try yourself. Take an empty preset in Prisma. Take 2 instruments. Make the volume control positive for layer 1, amount positive, and layer 2 amount negative for the volume, and play around with it. Then you can balance between 2 sequence sounds, and of course you can always record this as a parameter. Okay, let me check out if I can find this track I wanted to play with you, which has this sound I just mentioned. Let's go back to Predator-3. Excuse me. No, that Mirage. So just that one sound created one song on the PERU album from 2018. It's only on CD. It's not on SoundCloud. No, not SoundCloud. Not on Bandcamp or Spotify. It's only on CD. And give me 1 second. I need to start up then that I can find it for you. In the meantime, looking at the what is the meaning of wooden shoes, Pascal? I have no idea. Wooden shoes are shoes which are made from wood, which is typically Dutch. But maybe somebody else in the chat room. There are plenty of Dutch people in the chat room, so maybe they can explain it. Okay. Desert Rain is the track. Yeah, that's the one. Okay, so I'm gonna play. I'll go out with some own music. Desert Rain. It's the channel from Peru on YouTube is called PERU Synth Music. So we go out now with music from the original Dutch synthesizer group PERU, which originally was formed by Peter and Ruth, hence the odd name PERU. I joined a bit later on, and in 2018, Ruth Finesse and myself created another album. It's a very nice album. If you still like to have a CD, check it out. I think we have a link inside the description of the PERU Desert Rain. Is the song. So we go out with a very relaxed song. We will be back next week. Then maybe I already can show you a little bit of Raw 2. Anyhow, thanks for watching. And we are looking forward for another cool year with live streams and, of course, cool new products. Thanks for watching, and we go out with Desert Rain.